The DLC for Nightreign is months away, my sanity is rapidly dwindling and my will to live is tied to whatever this man is doing, which is probably not working on Bloodborne for PC. Instead of doing the same thing and playing other games whilst I wait for new content, or even, God forbid, a hobby that consists of me leaving the confinements of these four walls, I've instead decided to invent a rule set. Behold, the randomizers, featuring my friend's awful suggestions. Here we have not one, not two, but three Wheels of Chaos. To start, I'm going to roll which boss I'll be facing, followed by the class I'll be using, and finally a handicap provided by my friends. Yeah, a couple of quick notes. There are 2 bonus debuffs that only apply if I roll them on the required classes, and to up the stakes for every run I concede, the viewers will get to choose a relic that I must delete. For our first run, I'll be playing Ironeye versus gnoster without any consumables. I immediately make my first mistake upon starting this challenge, a great sign of what's to come. I put this relic on as I wanted the extra bow damage and accidentally turned my bow into holy. This is due to relics working from left to right. The reason this is so bad is because my strategy for this run was to turn my starting bow into purple and abuse the boss's weakness to fire. For this I want my bow to start as fire alongside having the Ash of War built in. Alright, failed run number 1. These are the relics I ended up going with. I wouldn't say they're optimal, but for what I'm aiming for here, I felt they were good enough. Plus 1 additional character skill use is essential for Ironeye. This effect gives us really consistent uptime on his debuff, but it also lets you extend the mark if you're unable to proc it in time. One thing I didn't account for during these runs is just how much muscle memory I had. I accidentally used the flask here, and the urge to use my flask stayed throughout the entire run. Instead of restarting the run, I decided it'd be fair if I had to run to the Grace to amend my mistake. This ended up wasting more time, so I feel like it was a fair punishment. Sadly, Ironeye has like 2 good Ash of Wars for bows. It's unfortunate just how few good bow skills there are. I did try Sky Shot, and honestly it's really satisfying when it hits, but during a boss fight it's going to miss most of the time and the damage payoff is hardly worth it. So yeah, I stuck to my plan to use Rain of Arrows. I'm unsure where I gained my audacity from, but I decided it was a good idea to take on this Royal Revenant at level 4. I did manage to get it to halfway, but sadly the circle meant I had to give it up. Just 3 minutes after this, I decided to take on yet another high level enemy, because for some reason, logic and reason fails to find me, and running my head against a brick wall is my form of enjoyment. Thankfully, I get this down with ease due to fighting them 500 million times in Elden Ring, and I'm rewarded for my efforts with a purple bow with the drop-off passes, so I think it was worth it. I do manage to kill 2 Evergels on day 1, and my first death is claimed by this Crucible Knight. Rolled way too early and get hit by the second tail swipe. That was it for night 1. Centipede Demon was an easy victory. It's funny how much easier the Dark Souls 1 bosses are compared to the others. I wonder how much time 13-year-old me would have lost if I had access to Elden Ring. It's crazy how far these games have come. I still remember seeing the trailer for Dark Souls 1 and no one in my school cared about the game except me. Did anyone else experience this where you couldn't join a group chat on Xbox Live while playing Dark Souls online? I ended up choosing Dark Souls over hanging out with my own friends. Good times. I did end up going back to kill the Revenant from earlier. Was a lot quicker at level 9 with a purple bow. Crystallians are so annoying. These 3 blue rocks have caused me more mental damage than beating Elden Ring with a torch has. There's just something so deeply painful about wanting to stack the Evergel relic buff and seeing these pop up and knowing you should probably give up the damage buff. Thankfully I did have a proficient weapon this time, so it wasn't a complete wash, but still, hate them with all of my being. Not only are these the worst Evergel bosses for Ironeye, I then proceed to take the improved Flask restoration on a run where I can't use Flask. Good job me, good job, clap clap. After the jail, I drop down into the mines quickly so I can later upgrade my bow to purple as planned. After defeating the basement boss, I find Bleed on crit. This effect coats your weapon in blood after performing a crit, and it's ridiculously strong on Ironeye, especially if you're using Rain of Arrows. Just watch how much damage this does. The end of night 2 and I have a sliver of health because I forgot I couldn't heal and decided it'd be a smart idea to go into the rain to get the scarab. Then while trying to pose for the camera I get pelted twice, getting put even further down. Yeah, not a great start. Not only that, but adding fire damage to my bows come back to bite me in the ass. I'm doing so little damage to this guy due to his high fire resistance and he takes my free revive. I finally clock on why I'm doing so little damage, but thankfully remember I had the Earth Tree bow, making this fight much smoother. I get the crit here, giving me that bleed effect from earlier, which allows me to clean up the fight pretty quickly. Here's my final build, nothing super exciting. I end up sticking FP on hit on my offhand so I can keep up with the Rain of Arrows cost. The moth takes a burn over time whenever it takes fire damage, so when possible I took shots at it. For the most part though, I focused the big guy. He's a great target for Ironeye's charge attacks and rain of arrows. My greed has no limits, and I like to believe that I could spam my Ash of War here. After that I mostly stick close to the boss, as it's a lot easier to dodge his attacks from close up, and Ironeye's charge attacks do ridiculous damage. This fight goes really smoothly. I go down one more time as I took too many hits before the charge phase, and I always struggle to dodge the entire charge without taking any chip damage, but the damage output is so high I can afford to play pretty badly. Zach from the future here. I did not realise that Wending Graces counted as consumable items, and I did use one in the final boss, so I guess I did cheat here. I don't know, do you think I deserve punishment for that? Let me know. Is that cheating? It's probably cheating. I'm not doing, I already edited the video. I spent ages editing that, so I'm not going to edit it again, but maybe we can come up with something. For our second matchup, I'm going to play an Executor versus Libra with only white weapons. This means all slots, so no using blues and above for their passive bonuses either. I'm going to fight the Everdark version as it was up. Now this is my first time fighting this guy as of the recording of this video, so I have no clue what to expect. The only thing I was made aware of before this run is that the less likely to be targeted passes are a godsend apparently, which has me concerned as to why I would want that in a solo run. Future Shanky here. Holy f***, this guy is a damn menace to society. Confused is an understatement. If it wasn't obvious at this point, I failed my first attempt. Here's what happened. Everything appeared normal. I refused to make a deal as usual, because why are you trusting anything that looks like this? The fight starts off well, I'm dodging, I get my status procs, the damage is decent, and this is where it goes all downhill. He starts this really long animation. I stand here and watch him, because if anime has taught me anything, it's rude to interrupt someone when they're powering up, and definitely not because I had no clue what was happening. A demon summons the condemned. A demon offers a false blessing. What is happening? Suddenly I'm being attacked by myself, which is pretty fitting for Executor, although I thought we solved this during his therapy arc.
Our queen! If she breathes, she's a fuck!
The AI on this guy is super infuriating, and while I'm having to deal with my demons, Libra is still firing bullshit at me from off screen. Well, at least they're fighting each other. I can finally get some damage on the actual boss now. Never mind. Not long and I'm back to trying to balance hitting the boss while not getting whirly-dirly by myself. Oh, thank God, another me. This reduced aggro passive is doing wonders at least. A demon preaches madness. What all of these means, guys? I'm scared. What is he doing now? I'd hoped that these walls were some cool mechanic that allowed me to split myself up from the clones of myself at the price of health or something. Sadly, they just deal damage to you. The RNG in this fight is ridiculous. I get completely destroyed, and the majority of this fight was just me staring in confusion. Well, failed run number one. After this, I did some well-needed research, because what on earth is going on? I refused to give up, and I wasn't actually that far from killing him despite how ridiculous that felt. I'm going to put up a list of all the debuffs that he can apply. So I've changed up my relic build too, so now I know the fight a bit better. The Caligor Frost relic allows you to turn invisible after proccing Frost. I'm taking this as a way to get my clone's aggro off of me. I'm hoping this works how I want it to. It also gives me Chilling Mist on my weapon, which is great for our damage. Executor honestly is probably the best class to have rolled white weapon run on.
No! Don't do it! I'm a virgin!
I have this Everjail relic. I find Executor's ult gets me killed often if I don't have the HP restoration effect. And for my last relic I have this on mostly because I had nothing better, but the fast ultimate charge is decent. My Audacity strikes once more and I'm fighting an Elder Lion at level 1. To no one's surprise, it kills me. Does this stop me from immediately running back to seek my vengeance? Well, no, but what was I meant to do? Let it have one over on me? After defeating the self-imposed challenge, I pick up improved stamina recovery and die a little inside, having to give up on this successive attack to negate damage passive. I managed to get to level 4 from this, but accidentally spent too much as I wanted to pick up the Wending Grace from this shot. I ended up killing some mobs in the air to get it. I mean, I could have just got this later, but I wanted it now. Don't question me. I go to the closest Great Church in hopes of getting a Stone Sword key, as my relic setup doesn't start with one. Thankfully I get one, so I head over to the nearest Everjail. Oh boy, I sure do love ambush fights. Thankfully the invis from the Caligor Frost relic is a massive help here, allowing me to avoid getting ganged up on. I picked up 10k runes and the 5% damage was from the relic, so pretty worthwhile. I decided to go to the castle as soon as possible. The best part about Executor is just how much burst damage you can do with just so little equipment. Being able to bleed and frostbite on your starting weapon is really strong. Unfortunately, the castle enemies are giants instead of, you know, anything else. Like, explain to me why these give so little runes compared to the others, while also being so much more frustrating to fight. Overall, not the best use of my time. The giants only drop gear that I can't even use. I really didn't think this through. A very uneventful day one. I mostly pick up some churches, killed some mob. However, I do get these really 2 good relics as the circles is closing in. Spiders, yay! I can't wait to find my favourite boss. Dark Souls 2 continues to haunt me in the year 2025. Can we move on, please? The inclusion of Dark Souls 2 in Nightreign has only served as a reminder of my disgust for that game. Why did they hurt so goddamn bad? Like, chill out. You're literally a crab. Anyway, guess I have to fight this now. I make my way to the township and pick up an extra Wending Grace and a Stone Sword Key. I've never been sad about a less likely to be targeted passive before. On a purple weapon too, this would have been so good. I'm mostly just trying to stack as much of the Evergel damage buff as I can get alongside the runes I need to level. I drop into this great church in hopes of another Stone Sword Key and then head over to the next Evergel. I'm getting really lucky with the spawns here and the keys. Crystallines would have been a nightmare for me. Stone Sword Keys drop from brown chests too apparently, which is a welcome surprise. I usually skip these chests to save time, but I was hunting for common weapons. With that, I head over to the next Evergel. You get the point. The Evergel relic is stupid and it makes no sense to do anything else, especially when I'm bound to white weapons. Another decent spawn too, giving me a nice 20% damage buff. Well, a little more than that because it's multiplicative for whatever reason. Everyone should be an expert at fighting tree sentinels at this point. This guy goes down with ease. Holy do my eyes deceive me, I couldn't believe it. Many periodical glint blades on a white weapon. It's actually huge, the account is changed forever. Night 2 boss is an easy one. This dual boss is actually better designed than any dual boss in Elden Ring. Thankfully I didn't bump into anything immune to status this run either. The glint stones are putting in so much work too. The overall damage I'm doing is really not that bad. I do however still have to fight him. This is the final build. I'm pretty happy with what I've got, to be honest. It doesn't get much better, and I managed to get 4 Evergels done too without starting with a Stone Sword Key. Attempt number 2, the build is looking strong and I'm feeling confident. I tank a lot at the start, but I'm not too worried as I have my ult up to full heal with. Here we go, phase 2. I'm trading more hits than I'd like and it's really hard to manage fighting the boss while being attacked by my clones. I'm so thankful that I have glintstone blades. It's hard to get hits in while a clone is on me, so the occasional damage helps a lot. The status damage is good too, however bosses gain status resistance the more you apply them. I managed to kill the first clone by me a huge window to attack the boss. I think the key to this fight is just having a ridiculous amount of patience, as your attack windows get eaten up a lot by the clones. I go down twice in a short amount of time. Seeing the boss at low HP made my neurons activate and I get way too greedy. I'm still not too worried as I managed to pick up 3 Wending Graces this run. A demon incites a riot and the 2 clones fight each other instead of me. The boss is so low, my patience is dwindling. I go down a 3rd time. This reduced aggro passive saves me, I'm sure. If these clones decided to come at me here instead, I would have been in trouble. Holy, I almost died there after killing the boss. Does the game stop you from dying, or did I actually survive on that little HP? That was a lot. This boss is insane. Challenge 2 down, only 6 more to go. So I did intend to do all 8 runs of this in this video, however I started the first 2 runs and it took a lot longer than I thought to edit, so I'm just sticking with these for now. Depending on if people like this or not, I might make a bit of a series out of it, and if you have any suggestions for challenge runs to add to the wheel, let me know. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for more future content. Mwah!